Welcome to the April 2025 edition of ELEVATE21. The spring market is in full swing, and there's never been a better time to lean in, show up, and stand out. We're seeing tremendous traffic at open houses, strong buyer interest, and real momentum across the board. Now is the time to take action and ride the wave of opportunity. Don't forget to tune in every Thursday at 9 a.m. for Agent 21, where we break down real-time market insights, lead generation strategies, and tools to help you stay ahead of every conversation. Agents who are winning right now are in the know. They are the ones staying in constant contact and staying consistent. They're prospecting every day, showing up online, following up with a purpose, and delivering value at every touch point. In a shifting market, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Let's dive into this month's tools, tips, and recognition to help you elevate your business this spring. All right, it's been tumultuous in the market lately with all of the words of tariffs and all the things, and we thought everyone was just going to get really scared of everything and everything would stop.
Right.
And yet, listings are suddenly exploding, and for our agents too, all over the place. It's amazing.
Right. No, I think that's the biggest piece of standout information from the last market report is the new listing number. Everything else was mild changes up or down. New listings was 11.5% increase March this year versus March last year, which is a tremendous amount of increase. When you're already considering this is spring market, we're expecting it to spike, but we spiked even more than we'd had in previous years. Other changes, the median sales price did continue to see a reasonable increase, which is nice. Closed and pending sales going down, which means obviously if you have more listings hitting the market and the ones that are there aren't selling yet, we are overwhelmed with inventory. And inventory means options, right?
Sure.
I think that's what I take from all of these pieces of information is that buyers are seeing new things come on the market and they're saying, I want to see a little bit more, right? We're a little less pressed to get into that huge, crazy bidding war, 25 offers on a property, and saying, let me weigh this out, see what my options are. And I think that narrative really ties into what you were saying on the scarier economic scale of uncertainty. There's not so much of I have to do this immediately right now because I know that tomorrow it's going to be up and the next day it's going to be down and the next day it's going to be up and the next day it's going to be down.
Yeah.
So I really think that people are taking that advice to say, I'm going to do what makes sense for me and my family. I'm not going to hold off. I have a greater plan, but I also don't need to do it right now. Right. Yeah. They trust the professionals that they're working with to get their mortgage rate locked in when it's most appropriate for them and to make an offer that is most appropriate for them. And that's where all these agents come into play.
I think maybe people are just accepting that you just can't guess your way out of this. You just go, I'll just do what I need to do. Because who knows? Right.
There used to be some predictability to it where you'd say pretty confident in, starting the year, this is what we're going to see. And I say, we'll see what tomorrow has, It's the Wild West sometimes.
So maybe buyers slowing down a little bit going, we'll see. But sellers still coming into the market saying, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
And I don't see it as a sign of buyers getting scared or of buyers not going to enter the market. It seems more like I am aware that I have the luxury of waiting out and seeing what comes available.
Sure.
Because the market's doing this so much, right? If it was going in one stagnant direction, people would say, oh my God, act today before it gets worse.
Sure. So. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool to see more inventory coming into the market. It's something that obviously we've been talking about for actual years. Mm-hmm. I think back to our podcasting days of the Realty Brothers. If you want to go check out the Realty Brothers, it's still out there. We still have over 1,000 subscribers on there. Anyway,
I'm afraid to look back. Maybe.
But you go back to listen to old episodes of Realty Brothers from years ago, and what are we talking about? Inventory. Mm-hmm. It's just been this perpetual thing. So, not saying it's solved, but we're seeing an increase of new listings coming on.
Yeah.
We are hearing about the multiple offer situations that are happening. Our agents specifically knocking out of the park, really getting out there, driving new listings and knowing that the best way to fix the inventory problem is just to go out there and create some inventory by doing some door knocking, sending out some postcards, doing all those things that our agents are doing so brilliantly, and educating the public, right?
Exactly.
That's such a huge piece of it.
Creating the business for themselves, really.
Definitely.
At the end of the day. And it's funny too, when we were just speaking of, the beginning of the year, we could kind of forecast what we thought was going to happen. And we always used the launch party as our opportunity to do that. And we would say, hey, here's what we see coming for you down this turnpike. And it was interesting this year, knowing that there's a lot of uncertainty out there. It could go any direction. It will go any and every direction, probably within the course of the next week. But with that, the focus instead was really about creating your own business and creating, your own success rather than relying on a market and being reactive to it. And then beyond that, just having togetherness and celebrating all of the successes they had this last year. So that was a really great time.
Yeah. And that by definition is what sets our agents apart, because they're the agents who have been through it, right? They've seen a lot of this stuff before, and they know what it takes. And I've talked about the Instagram agents before, those that jumped into the market when it was so roaring hot, and they'd post a picture on Instagram and then it would sell. They're like, I'm so good at this job. And it takes that grit, and our agents are just knocking that grit out of the park. And the number of fine homes and estates properties that y'all have been listing lately, unbelievable. So lots of $1 million homes that make me really wish I could afford $1 million home
Someday.
I don't like looking at these listing pictures, you guys. It's making me jealous. Anyway, let's talk about the launch party, because what an absolutely amazing time that we had. I think it was our best yet, but I'm getting feedback from the agents that they feel this was the best party yet. It
really was. Yeah.
The food, everyone's raving about the food. I was telling Jenny, did you make it to the dessert table?
No.
That's okay. So I didn't either. But I was telling Jenny, I was like, somebody had brought over like a plate of different desserts, and I was like, ooh, and I tried one, and it was like a cheesecake thing. And I was like, that was amazing. But I keep hearing from everybody about this dessert table. Anyway, I was telling Jenny I was really bummed, and she's like, oh, I grabbed some. And I was like, okay, great. My wife had Tupperwares full of the desserts from the dessert table.
That's her MO, though. I'm aware of that one.
It was amazing.
No wonder I didn't get any.
We've been eating things. Still, we're about to head out on a family trip to watch my daughter at World's cheer competition. And Jenny just this morning was like, everybody eat, a macaroon quick. We got to get rid of these before we go on our trip. Anyway, amazing time. Thank you to all who came. It was so much fun. And these sweet hoodies, if you came, you got one. If you didn't come, you can get one. But we like to treat everyone who comes with a free goodie. So we had some bags and some hoodies. We are actually making these available for sale for the rest of you through the Darwin store.
That's right. So if you don't know how to log in, or it's been a while and your password expired, just check in with the admin in your local office. They can get you reset. But log in there. You can check out those Sherpas that were so cool, and now these hoodies in there for you to purchase. There's also Minnesota Twins games tickets in there for our C21 Atwood Day at the Twins. So if you haven't snagged that, I really want to hang out with you all and have a hot dog.
A free hot dog, by the way.
A free hot dog.
So your ticket price includes like burgers, hot dogs, like all sorts of chips and drink, and not soda. It'll cover.
And then I'll say this: while you're in there shopping, you could also look at all of the tools that are in there for free, like setting your goals and year-over-year comparisons. And my favorite is when, and it's important, like we want to be supportive of it, but the agents will reach out saying, hey, can you send me my comparison of like last year's total or last year's by this time? And say, but you can do it yourself. And you wouldn't have to wait until the next day or whatever. You could, as soon as you have the thought, you could pull it right up. It's right there for you. So we'll be happy to help you out. If you, like I said, don't have the password or want a refresher, we could do another training on it. I want you to use the store, but more than anything, I want you to use those tools to increase your business.
Yes. So, you're not only just looking at where you were last year, looking at where you are this year. You can go in and set goals, and then the accountability. It's one of our core values, right? And holding yourself accountable toward setting your goal.
Yeah. For
It's
sure.
really cool. It's a cool program. So go buy your shirt, set a goal, and just say, hey, I want to be able to afford to buy lots of shirts. And so you got to set your goal high.
Exactly.
Thanks, Michael. All right. So, I feel like we're talking about generally the same things every time, we get together for these Elevate 21s.
Sure.
But these last couple of weeks have been really exciting.
Really have.
Just exciting. So what's going on? It feels like a roller coaster. I don't even know today. I haven't checked.
Yeah, well, I was expecting and a little concerned you were gonna ask me about the market the last couple of weeks, but thankfully I came prepared. So, I don't know if we.
This is so unexpected. You actually brought bourbon?
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
There you go. So yeah, we I think this is a good time for real estate professionals to have a drink.
Absolutely. What an exciting couple of weeks.
Yeah. There you go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To tariffs.
To tariffs.
Perfect.
Yes, we survived the Trump recession.
All right. So, exciting couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, we had the best interest rates we've seen in the last 8 months. It was fantastic. I had people calling left and right for refinances. I reached out to a lot of people that Friday and said, you know what? You can save $350 a month if we refinance right now.
Yeah.
And they said, wow, that's amazing. Let me take the weekend to think about it. And come Monday, one of the worst plummets in the mortgage market that we've seen in a couple of years.
Unbelievable.
So went from the best rates down to the worst rates, and then now back into the middle. So very volatile, and it all settled down, right? It came out. But the big question was why? What the heck is going on? So we've spent a lot of time talking about what's going to make the mortgage market improve. What's going to bring rates down, right? Inflation's got to come down. As weird as it sounds, unemployment needs to go up. Well, those things actually have been happening, and they're not impacting rates like they should, like we expected them to. What's happening instead is there's so much emotion in regards to the tariffs. Tariffs are on, tariffs are off, tariffs are good for rates, and then tariffs are terrible for rates.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show just how emotional the investors are, how concerned they are, and how, frankly, they don't even understand what's really going on. And it's a day to day.
Yeah. I know everybody is looking to point fingers and point blame on all this stuff, and there's people who are like, Trump knows what he's doing. Trump doesn't know what he's doing.
Yep.
And beyond Trump, like investors know what they're doing. Investors don't know what they're doing. I've just settled on nobody knows anything.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Nope. Just can we all agree that nobody really actually knows anything?
Yeah. That last week, Monday and Tuesday especially, I always speak to rates change every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. You really need to be on top of it and understand for your clients. And there were times I was on one phone call, and during that phone call, I had notifications that like, hey, rates are getting better. Nope, they're getting worse. Oh, hey, they're getting better. Like, what is going on? I can't even talk to one person about what they're going to qualify for.
Honestly, it's crazy. And I mean, now it seems like we're starting to get on the better side again. So it's,
Yep.
I mean, at least as of right now, this moment, it seems like things are starting to get better again. Is that right?
Yesterday was a better day. There's more talk of pauses now on tariffs and exactly what's going to look like. And that's the biggest concern, is that when anything comes out and says, hey, big changes are happening, that freaks everyone out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really outlined yet what's happening.
Sure.
And now they're working through the details and it's settling down. And that's helping the market improve.
Yeah.
So the big takeaway here is, again, we've said before, don't stress over the day-to-day. Okay, there are going to be fantastic days, and then there's going to be terrible days, and back and forth, and then a lot smaller days in between. The important thing is make sure that you are speaking to somebody that is on top of it, that you understand, because on a week like last week, there were people that were pre-approved for homes and still out shopping, but technically couldn't qualify anymore because of how much rates changed.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
Yeah.
A pre-approval letter should mean something. We want to make sure you're going out there with confidence that you can get into a contract that you can actually close. And I just think it's more important now than ever to make sure that you are working closely with a loan officer you trust, who's going to monitor these things, who's going to give good advice, who's watching for you. So obviously, if people are coming through Atwood Mortgage, we're going to make sure we're vetting every single aspect every single day.
Sure. Okay, one quick kind of piece of advice here. So our incredible, amazing, relentless Century 21 Atwood agents are helping people every day. Actually, we did the math for our launch party.
Yep.
and we're selling 21 homes a week.
Love
right?
it.
I love that. Century 21.
Right.
I mean, what a perfect
Just
number.
don't ever do more. That's perfect. We've hit it.
Let's keep it right
Great.
about there.
Yep.
This year it's going to be 21 a day. But they're out there, they're helping buyers, and the buyers themselves are going to be like, well, I don't know. Am I even going to be able to close this home?
Right.
I mean, granted, on the other side, it could be all of a sudden right before closing, they're saving money, right? So what advice can you give to the agents so that they can help kind of settle the seas a little bit for what the public is experiencing, what their clients are experiencing?
Well, the biggest thing, we have a lot of flexibility and benefits as a brokerage. What I advise clients of all the time is if this is a typical 30-day close, I say if we're happy with our payment right now, you lock in immediately, right? We're talking about somebody's house. We're talking about the realtor's paycheck. Do we really want to gamble with those things?
Right.
No, if the numbers work and we're happy, lock it in and be done with it. Now, it's going to protect you on that ceiling, but if the market does have a weird swing the other direction and things get better, there's a few things that we can do. One is if the market moves enough, you can renegotiate with the lender you're currently with and say, no, they're not going to do it over a few $100s or an eighth of a point. But if it's a big enough move, like, hey, we need to talk, rates are better, we're locked into this loan that's just not where the market's at today. And a lot of times they'll work with you on that. You can renegotiate and find a happier spot. If they don't want to do that, and sometimes a bank just won't say it's not enough, we don't think this is a good move for us, we don't want to renegotiate, well, we're a brokerage. At the end of the day, we work for the client, we work for the realtors, we don't work for the bank. So if we need to pack up shop and just switch to a different lender to get that day's pricing, we can do that too.
Gotcha. So to wrap up, it sounds like at this point, while we are drinking bourbon, it could be soon we can pop the cork on some champagne and actually celebrate. Not that everything revolves around drinking, but you know. Yeah. So anyway, I also wanted to mention a lot of the people watch these Elevate 21s, and I know they come out on the 21st. Obviously, we pre-record them. You're watching it at like noon on the 21st. It's not like we're drinking at noon. It's 9:20 a.m.
So anyway, as one more incentive, if you were not at the launch party, we are offering another free appraisal offer for any contracts received through the end of May.
This is awesome.
So we just want to incentivize more. We want to make sure that your clients are taken care of. They're saving thousands. What's actually funny, I was going to tell you, is after we announced that, a day or two later, we had somebody immediately refer somebody like, hey, we are already pre-approved, but this free appraisal is just too good to pass up, right? So realtor told their client reached out to us and said like, hey, you guys are really doing free appraisals? I'm like, yeah, we're going to cover your appraisals, $600 still in your pocket. They're like, great, sign me up. And they submitted an application. Once it was in, I asked for their loan estimate from the place that they were at as well.
Yeah.
Sure, they're getting a $600 appraisal plus about $4,000 less in origination fees. So we do these little incentives to say like, hey, if you need a nudge, you need to be like, hey, here's a reason, another reason to call Atwood Mortgage is for that free appraisal. Keep in mind, this is a tiny piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Like it's usually going to come down to significantly more when we can look at the speed savings we can provide, the shorter locks because we can handle a loan faster.
Yep.
But then we're priced below Minnesota average intentionally. We want your clients to win. We want them to be able to afford more. We want to make sure you can get paid.
Absolutely. I didn't tell you this either, but I think myself and Carla got more calls about the free appraisal thing you announced at launch. Our marketing director got more calls than you did because it's almost like our agents didn't believe it. They called like, Carla, Brian said free appraisals for all of our clients. Is that, what is that? Like, is that real? That can't be right? Did he say that wrong? So anyway, so many people calling, so many excited. And I love this story because we want to save them $600. You ended up saving them $4,600. That's
Correct.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, let's cheers one more time.
Absolutely.
To a volatile but interesting market that'll keep us young and old.
Perfect.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Stay connected and grow your business. Spring is buzzing with opportunity, and your marketing strategy should be too. In a fast-moving market, staying connected to your sphere and showing up consistently is key to long-term success. Nurture your sphere with Moxie Engage. Join us every Wednesday at 10 a.m. for CRM of the Crop, where we'll guide you through how to maximize Moxie Engage. From setting up smart campaigns to organizing your contacts, we'll help you stay top of mind and build stronger relationships that lead to more referrals and repeat business. May's social media assets are ready. Head over to 21online.com and download your Century 21 Atwood social media content. Get everything scheduled now so you can stay consistent, visible, and ready to engage your audience all month long. Here's a marketing tip. Leverage ChatGPT to grow your business. Need help crafting listing descriptions, email templates, or even generating fresh content ideas? ChatGPT is your personal marketing assistant. In this busy market, saving time while staying creative gives you the edge. Don't miss Agent 21 every Thursday at 9 a.m. Keep learning, keep growing. Tune in for actionable insights, fresh strategies, and the tools that will help you lead in your market. Now's the time to stay focused, stay visible, and stay connected. Let's make May your most productive month yet.
Hey, to everyone who joined us at Launch 2025, thank you for being part of an incredible evening. It was an honor to come together and celebrate the best of the business. From recognizing this year's outstanding award winners to connecting with colleagues across our Century 21 Atwood family, the night was a true reflection of the passion, dedication, and excellence that drives us forward. We are so proud of each and every one of you for the extraordinary work you do every day. Here's to continued success, meaningful relationships, and an amazing year ahead. Thank you for making Launch 2025 a night to remember. We're kicking off the season by celebrating the heart of what you do, our incredible clients and the agents who go above and beyond for them. From glowing client testimonials to agents who already made it into the $1 Million Club this year, your dedication and commitment to delivering extraordinary experiences truly shines. Take a moment to check out these success stories and celebrate the wins, big and small, that are already making 2025 a standout year.
This is our second time working with Belinda. She made sure the process was as easy as possible and was available to answer any questions we had throughout the process. I would strongly recommend her to anyone looking to buy or sell in the Duluth, Superior region.
Buying a house for the first time is stressful. No way around it. Having Josh on my team gave me a person I could trust to communicate effectively and quickly. I couldn't imagine going through the process without him right there every step of the way. His knowledge and ability to explain in plain words really helped curb a lot of the stress involved in looking for and making offers on a new home. I can honestly say after working with such a professional go-getter, I will never make a home purchase without having Josh on my team.
Nancy worked above and beyond of what our family expected. This was a property full of challenges and she never gave up. I would recommend her very strongly.
Well, that's a wrap on the April edition of Elevate 21. The energy is high, opportunities are everywhere, and your commitment to excellence is what sets you apart. As the market heats up, stay visible, stay consistent, and stay connected. Your next deal could come right from around the corner, right from your next conversation. So remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Be the resource your clients trust, the expert your sphere remembers, and the professional who always delivers. Keep showing up every Thursday at 9 a.m. for Agent 21, and let's continue building extraordinary momentum together. See you next month.